Alright, and welcome back to Ghost Preparedness. So, I did a video last night talking about barter and trade, and apparently my phone, or my camera, decided that it wasn't going to properly save it or something. So, it did not save. Like, it does not work. I tried to upload it last night, it said failure, and then it wouldn't even let me watch the video. So, we're going to do this again. So, we're going to talk about barter and trade. I feel it can be a kind of touchy subject for the most part. But before I really start diving into this one, I do want to make it known. You should do everything you can now to make sure that when things go south, the balloon goes up, whatever, that you don't have to rely on the whole barter trade thing. It should not be your first go-to. It should not be something that you should be considering. You should do everything now to make sure that you don't have to do that. Now, with all that being said, there might easily possibly be a time when you actually do need to resort to barter and trade. Whether it's because you are brand new to the whole prepping thing and you've only been prepping for a month, and then the world ends and the zombie apocalypse happens and yada yada, so on and so forth, and then you have absolutely no supplies after a month, and now you need to start working on the whole barter trade thing, or your supplies get ruined, etc., or you just ran out, because at some point, if you're not resupplying yourself or whatever, you're going to run out of supplies. But yes, you should still do everything that you can to make sure to minimize the need to do the whole barter trade thing. But yes, I want to talk about a few items that I feel would be great for barter and trade, and that should never, ever be used for barter and trade, unless if it's life or death, you're gonna die, you need to do it type situation. So the first one, and I feel that this is the best one and the easiest one to get your hands on and get a lot of, that is tobacco products. And we're mainly going to kind of focus on cigarettes here, because I feel cigarettes would be the easiest to store away. I mean, actual legit bags of tobacco, probably pretty easy too, but I'm going to mainly focus on cigarettes. So, I'm a firm believer that when it comes down to the whole barter trade thing, cigarettes can be a godsend for somebody who was a pack-a-day smoker or a carton a week, whatever, and hasn't had a cigarette in 5 months, and this is like just really stressed out, whatever, and then you'd be like, hey, you got food, I'll give you a carton of cigarettes for some food, and then look at that, you just got yourself some food for cigarettes. Like, you really, not an overly important thing. Starting to rain a little bit out there. Oh, can't see anything. There we go. So, cigarettes. I'm a firm believer that cigarettes are a good option to stock up on for the whole barter trade thing. Now, if you're not, especially if you are not a smoker, it's kind of hard to justify going out and buying a carton of high-end expensive cigarettes. Like, I couldn't justify that if I didn't smoke. Now, option to that, a solution to that, just about every gas station or like smoke shop mainly you go to, you can find bags of cigarettes. They're usually just a carton's worth of cigarettes, just cheap garbage cigarettes, loaded up into a bag, and they sell them for a few dollars. Like, the closest one where I get my cigarettes from sells them for about $12 a bag. Now, to me, that'd be something like, okay, once a month, a couple times a week, whatever your pay works, I would be getting a couple bags of them. At least get a couple hundred cigarettes stored up. And then, when it comes down to, like, storing them, I've never personally tried this. It is something that I need to actually try. But this is how I would store them. And please correct me if I'm wrong, add to it, whatever. But I would personally sit there, get a vacuum sealer, put about 10, 20 cigarettes in the bag with an oxygen absorber, seal that bitch up, and then throw it in a bucket, someplace dry, cool, so it's not going to get ruined or anything or exposed to the sunlight. And then when you need it, be like, hey, you got food, here's 20 cigarettes, there you go. Or whatever. Now, I don't know how long that would last for. Now, I would sit here and think, doing the whole vacuum sealing, properly vacuum sealing it, and then throwing the oxygen absorber, I feel that it should last a while. But if anybody has another solution to that, let me know. So, the first item that I would try to stock up on, cigarettes. Now, obviously, you could do chewing tobacco, bags of tobacco, whatever. But I just feel it'd be easier to do bag cigarettes. So, next on the list kind of falls into the same category as the cigarettes, and that is alcohol. Because there are people who are alcoholics. There are people who, like drinking alcohol. Stressful day, just, took out an entire horde of zombies and lost 5 people, I need a drink. People are going to want a drink. So, when it comes down to the alcohol end of things, I would personally be careful and do some research, because not every alcohol has a super long shelf life. Now, I'm not personally a fan of alcohol. I have the occasional drink, so I really don't know the exact answer to that. So I'm sure jumping on the Google to figure all that out isn't going to be too overly hard. But when it comes down to which alcohol, I would personally go with like those little small shot bottles or whatever they're called that you can find at just about every single liquor store. Just because they're relatively cheap and they have a large selection of them. So every now and then, go pick up 2, 3 of them, throw them in your bag and call it good. Like, that's how I would do that. You could build yourself up a nice little collection. You could sit there and spend the money and get like the big bottles, but I don't know. I personally can't justify that. But if that's how you want to do it, then by all means, don't let me stop you. But yeah, cigarettes and alcohol. 2 terrible, terrible things, but 2 things that people are going to be looking for after the world ends, zombie apocalypse crap. So the next one, not necessarily a huge one, but something I feel you could still barter with, is building materials, because, people are going to need to repair their shelters, their homesteads, their houses, their animal shelters, whatever. People are going to need to do repairs. And if the world's ended, just complete, total, utter chaos, people are going to need access to that type of stuff. Now, I highly doubt that if you go up to somebody with a box of nails that they're going to give you 5 months worth of food. I highly doubt it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that person would give you 5 months worth of food. I don't know. But yes, building materials, nails, lumber, tools, etc., whatever, I feel could be an okay option to do the whole barter trade thing with. Now, moving into stuff that should never be bartered with. Ever. Like, never, ever be bartered with. And that is food, water, medical, ammo. Those 4 things should never be bartered with, because those are the things that are going to save your life. A cigarette isn't going to save your life. A bottle of alcohol might make your life feel a little better, but isn't going to save your life. So those 4 things, food, water, medical, ammo, don't ever barter with them. And here's why. Because that's your lifeline for your community. That's your lifeline for your family. And if you start bartering it, if you start giving it away, the chances of that person sitting there being like, holy crap, this guy's actually got quite a bit of food, quite a bit of water, medical. I'm going to get my buddies and I'm going to go attack them, or I'm going to go steal their stuff because, I'm an asshole like that. You want to try to avoid and minimize the possibility of the people you're trading with turning around and attacking you or stealing you or taking your stuff. So you got to be careful with that. And plus, why would you get rid of your food? Like, seriously. Now, granted, if you needed some life-saving medication for your child that you never even, crossed your mind that you would need, and that person's like, hey, I want 5 months worth of food. I would probably do it. Like, to me, that would be a necessity. To me, that would be something that's important that would kind of sort of justify it. But at the same time, you need to make sure that you don't ever end up in a position like that, or at least minimize the possibility. So, yeah, that's kind of all I have for this video. So, hopefully, this uploads. But, yes, I need to go get ready for work. So, if any of you guys have any opinions on the whole barter trade thing, please throw it in the comment section. We are actually growing pretty good in subscribers. I think when I looked at it this morning and noticed that this video didn't upload, I think we're up to 20 subscribers now, which is super cool, super exciting. Thank you all. They're actually kind of growing at a relatively quick pace. That's awesome. Thank you. But yes, share the video, like the video, comment, dislike, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. But yes, have a wonderful day.